Hello, everyone. World where you don't have to drive. Now, when I was doing Rideshare, some of my clients that I had in my back seat, you know, sometimes the conversation of Rideshare will come up because, as you know, or maybe you don't, when I was doing Rideshare and some folks would get into my vehicle, they would ask, "Well, hey, how long have you been doing Rideshare for? How's your day been going on the road?" And I would tell them how long I had been doing rideshare for on that day. In addition, I would tell them how long I've been doing it in this entirely, and they would tell me how it's awesome. And I agreed initially because I thought that's where they were just going to leave it at. Well, hey, it's awesome that you're working, things of that nature. However, as they continue to expound on their statement, they were like, well, I really enjoy taking the rideshare app because we are living in a world where we do not have to drive. Now, as I'm cruising to get us to where the client needs to be, I ponder on it, and I had to agree with the client that we are in a world where we do not have to drive if we do not want to. That's a fact. The thing is, though, depending on where you live, you really gonna want a vehicle because, yes, patience is a virtue. Yes, you can get on the app and have someone come scoop you up. Yes, you can ask a family member. Yes, you can ask your significant other. A husband can ask his wife, a wife can ask his husband, and so on and so on. The thing is, though, if most folks are like me, and I believe most people are in this aspect, when someone wants to go somewhere, they want to just get up and go. They don't want to have to wait. In fact, I know this to be true because I had clients get into my car and they would get to telling me about their car not working, and they would say, "I don't have an issue taking the rideshare app, but I prefer to be driving." And I agree with them because I mean, I even once, more than once, took the rideshare app where I was just, being a individual in the back seat, letting the person driving the car get me to where I need to go. It was cool. It was actually fantastic. Sometimes, just being able to rest but sometimes I was impatient in the sense like they're not taking the route I want them to take. They're driving too slow. It's traffic. I would have hopped on this back road. I would have made that left, that right. But then after a while, I was like, mm, you could have, but you decided to ride. So just be grateful, keep your seatbelt on, and make sure you all get to where you need to go safely. But what do you all think? I mean, if you're in a big city, like a city where you may have a train or a wonderful bus route, and when I say wonderful, like a bus comes like every 7 minutes, every 5 minutes, I think a person can actually not have a vehicle. Studies and there's individuals that live up north, metropolitan areas. They have trains and bus routes like in New York, Philadelphia, D.C., Maryland, even California, Atlanta. I know Atlanta has the MARTA and all that in the bus. So you technically we are in a world where we do not need to drive. Now, if there's a such thing as money trees out there, or individuals that have an abundance of money, they can just set aside, let's say, $20,000. This is just a random number I'm using. 20,000 just for ride share, right? let's say one didn't want to drive. Now, depending on the nature of the age of the individual, the kind of car they have, the the insurance, all of that, it could probably come out cheaper. You know, so I mean, who would have thought? I never thought we would be here today where we're in a world where you do not have to drive. And maybe sometime in the future, I'll probably take some days off to where I don't drive. Then I would be one of those individuals saying, I don't even drive no more. But now I just take the rideshare app periodically. Maybe I'll go to the airport to get away. Maybe I'll go downtown. I don't feel like dealing with all that commotion. So I'll just get dropped off, pick back up, where it's convenience. But not to have the option to not have the option to not drive, nah, I can't do it. There's been times, as I'm sure there has been time for you all, where you all have not had your vehicle and you had to take ride share, and you was like, it's cool, but you had the hiccups of people canceling at the wrong at the wrong time, like they get to you and cancel, or they're late, or they complaining, or they don't play the music you want. I know that's very surface level, but as we know, when we all drive our own vehicles, we like to have our seat a certain way, go a certain route, and then you can just foresee certain things depending on where you at. If you're not new to the area, and some individuals that do the ride share app, the drivers, some of them don't know the back road. Some just follow the app they have. Depending on the app, it may sit them on the toll road, it may sit them the wrong way, and you be thinking in your head, what are you doing? But you just riding. So you just ride, and you be grateful when you get there, and you be like, oof, I'm I need to get back in the vehicle and start driving again. It's funny. When I was young, as I take it when you were young, they said don't ride with strangers, and now that's what we do. But strangers make the world go round. Strangers make business go. From doing rideshare app as being a driver as well as being a rider, and I'm sure you all can relate too. No matter the business venture, definitely in rideshare, it's the strangers that put money. We all put money in each other's pocket. So shout out to all the strangers I met. And when I take rideshare again, I'll meet another stranger, and um, they'll get me to where I need to go. But yeah, there's like I said, I made this video because it dawned on me that one of my clients at the time, they got into the vehicle and they were like just started talking from the time I put my foot on the gas, and spoke to them, asked them how their day was going, and they were just like, I thought the way this client sounded, they sounded like they were never going to drive again, or it sounded like they would drive again, but it's gonna be a while. Some people, some people get into a rhythm where they're like, you know what, I'm tired of driving. And I get that. I get that. Depending on where you're going, what you do for a profession. Because let's say one is a truck driver, or one is a rideshare driver, or one is a pilot, you know, one that considers them to be awake and always alert. There's times where they're like, nah, not today. They'd probably say about 14 days, I'm just not going to drive. They may just stay home and chill. Or there would be times where they're just like, I'm not driving. So you all tell me, have you all ever experienced that? Have you ever thought about that currently? Or do you think you'll think about that in the future? Just imagine if you didn't have access to your car, but you can call on the rideshare app. Would you do it? Or would you prefer to have your vehicle and the option to call the rideshare app? Um, yeah, I hope you all enjoy this video. Like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the link and scoop my book. That's all for today. Talk to you all later. Peace.